So shall we start now? Right. Last week I have seen some introduction about AWS and other services. So this week I'm gonna start. I just decided to start with EC2 since that is a root base of most of the services. And let's just a second. Okay. Can you guys see my screen? Okay, great. So this week we're gonna see about EC2. So before that, I just want to know if anyone have any quick questions before the session. Oh, can you brief about the last session? Okay, so last week we have seen some introduction about AWS, virtual computing, how virtualization works and how hypervisor works, what is the role of hypervisor in virtualization, and how AWS cloud computing evolves. So those are the things we have seen last week, and probably I can share the PPT by the end of this week, so that you can have a picture on it. Yeah, Ketan? Right. No problem, no problem. So whoever haven't attended last week, I can share you the PPTs along with the things. So at the end of the session, I will share the PPT. So you can go through it and we'll discuss your doubts in the upcoming weeks. Great. So today we're going to see about Elastic Cloud Computing, which is nothing but EC2. So why I have choose EC2 as the first sub topic? I mean, we have so many web services to start with, but why I have choose EC2? There are few reasons, and first thing, in cloud computing we have majorly divided cloud computing into three parts, like storage, computing, and network. So on top of it, everything is comes under computing. So that's the reason I have chosen EC2 as a first topic. And once you understand EC2, how it works and how to create a virtual server, how to run and how to manage with the networking and all, you'll be good to go. So first I'll say about EC2. So EC2 is a web service that provides resizable compute capacity in the cloud, and it is nothing but a virtual server. Virtual servers in terms of AWS, it is called an instance. An instance is for running applications on AWS infrastructure, and it's obvious. Logically, there is no limit for servers to spin up. Of course, there are practical limitations for each users, but we can increase the limit anytime. And these instances are divided into various groups, and you could see it's general purpose, compute optimized, memory optimized, and storage optimized. These types are you have to choose these types as per your business application needs. Like if in case of general purpose, we have T2, M3, M4. These are all general purpose. Like if you do have any testing kind of things, you can go for general purpose. And obviously, for the free account, you can go for T2 Micro, T2 Nano, these kind of instances. These types is nothing but your instance type, like how much memory you require, how much RAM you require, how much CPU you require, how much storage you require. That is the thing we are talking about the types. So next, in case of compute optimized, you have some critical values to calculate, and then you can go for compute optimized. And memory optimized, if you have a good RAM, if you need a good RAM and good storage things, you can go for memory optimized and storage optimized. We'll see in practical how these things are working, right? So next thing we should see about the pricing models. These are the four major pillars in the pricing, like on-demand, reserved instances, spot instances, and dedicated instances. In case of on-demand, it's just pay-as-you-go model. Like you're just going to start launch an instance. You can going to use for how much hours you want, and you're just going to terminate. There is no long-term commitment. In case of reserved instances, you can reserve these instances for an year or 3 years. So I'll tell you how these types will be differ at the end. Just understand the basic difference between all these pricing models. And spot instances, it is just like bidding. So it will be in very less cost, and it will be an hourly basis. Like for every hour, the AWS will change the spot instance bidding price. So if you are okay with the bidding price, you can go ahead with the instance, or else you can terminate the instance. It is just for the testing and will be charged in very less cost. It's point not 1 cent in case of North Virginia. And you people have remember about I said what about says what about I said about the regions and the zones, right? So North Virginia by default, if you open an AWS account, by default it will go to North Virginia. And compare the pricing models, North Virginia, Ireland, those are less price compared to other region like Southeast Tokyo and in case of dedicated host, it will be just like a on-premise data center. They will dedicate each rack only for you. There won't be any shared resources. It won't be shared with anyone. Those resources only allocated to you, right? Uh, so now I'll show you how we can do these things in console. Let's open the console. Guys, you have any questions till now, like how these pricing models are working and instance types? You can ping me here in the text so that I will unmute you individually. Again, I have questions from Pradeep, Niranjana Kumar. Okay, I'll go with Pradeep. Yeah, Pradeep, you can go ahead. Pradeep, you are on.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, Harik, am I audible?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, in the previous slide, if you go one step back, so when you say pricing model,
Yes,
you mean to say it's the cost incurred on in getting these models for your company, or
yes,
what actually it means?
yes, it is for the AWS account. Like, just guys, also another thing, please open an individual account for everyone in AWS. It is totally free. And it's and for a year it's totally free. You can play with all the services and in a free hours. Like in case of EC2, you can have 750 hours. So you just know how instances are working, how can we connect communicate with the EC2 instance, how to upload some content into the EC2 instance, how to download the contents. For that you will have to create an AWS account. All you need in credit card and your mobile number. And further now for another tip I can say, you can use your virtual credit card. No need to go for the actual credit card. You can use a virtual credit card to log in into the account. So just create an account. So this instance price will be occurred in your AWS account.
Will you guide us how to open the account?
Yeah, sure. I'll do that. Okay, we'll go with that. Any other questions from me?
Yeah, well, the pricing model you said, so you said spot instance and dedicated instance.
Yeah.
All these have a different prices, you said, right?
Yes, its pricing model will be very based upon like uh, if you see at around the whole and the pricing will be huge for on-demand instance and it will be little less for reserve instances and it will be very less for spot instances. In that way only I have categorized the types. Because in on-demand there is no commitment with you, so the price will be little higher. Like say for example, if you launch an instance, I mean instance in this instance, if you launch a virtual server, I mean Linux based virtual server in North Virginia, it will be 0.8 cents per hour. Okay, so if you install the same machine in reserve for an year, it will be 0.06. And if you're going to launch the same instance in spot instances, it will be 0.002. Obviously it will be very
Okay.
less price because it will be spot bidding. So it will be varied on every hour. If you're gonna do any
So
short,
here point,
yeah,
yeah, sorry. So here 0.8 cents per license, you're saying, right? Per head, per user?
per machine, per machine. There is
Sorry, I didn't hear you. Sorry.
it is for a machine. The license is also included with the price. And for Linux, there is
Okay,
no
per
license,
machine.
so it is to be less cost compared to the Windows machines.
Okay, so here per machine, how many hours? Like, is it like in a time duration?
No, that's what I said. You can go with, I mean, if you're going to spin up for a long time, you can you can choose the pricing models, and at instance, while you launch an instance, you can choose whether you're going to do it for on-demand, reserve instance, or spot instance. There is no time limit for anything.
Okay.
Uh, we'll reserve these questions at the end of the session, and I'll show you how to create an account and how to use EC2 now in the console.
Okay.
Fine?
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. So in order to create an account, you go to this. No. Sign into root credentials. This is a page where you will have to create an account. If you haven't already an account, you can give your email ID or mobile number, just like whatever you're doing the other website, and give you a password. Just like if you have already an, let's say if you have already an Outlook account or already have you login with Amazon, the same mail ID you can use here. Since I don't have, I'm going to show you how can we create with another ID. Oh no. So I lost my password. Okay. So that's it. You will have to create your mail ID and mobile ID. Sorry, your mail ID and just create sign in using secure server. It will have some steps like you will have to give a mobile number. It will have to validate with the OTP. Once it is done, you will have to give your payment details like which credit card details. For credit card details, you can have two options. Earlier days, you can have your credit card and debit card. Then they have removed debit card, but still you can use virtual credit card. Virtual credit card is offered by so many vendors like free charge and other things. You can go for it because it will be safe. And once your credit card details are validated, your account will be activated. It will be activated in 2 to 3 hours. So for every new user, they are giving free hours for mostly all the services in for an year. Like for EC2 750 hours, for storage they give you 5 TB of storage. Those all are free. So you can utilize those services and see how it is actually working, right? Is it free? Why they're asking for a credit card? Okay, I said it's free for an like when EC2 it is 750 hours free. If you go beyond the 3 hours, you will have to it is chargeable. For that reason, they need some credit card details. So there are so many things you can create CloudWatch, and there are so many things you can provide some alarm settings so that you can manageable within the 750 hours. Like these 750 hours, it is for each month. Like for every month, you will provide 750 hours of EC2 hours. In these 750 hours, you can launch a machine and you can run. Right? Shall I go ahead? Pradeep? Okay, cool. So once you log in into the AWS console, this is the first page you'll see, and by default it will go to the US East one, I mean North Virginia. Yes, every month it is 750 hours. It will be credited on each month, and you cannot consolidate and remaining hours to the next month. Right. So by default, once you log in into your account, by default you'll go to this page, and by default all the services will be launched in North Virginia region. So here you can have an option to change your regions, right? This is my IAM user. I can always use my root user account, but it is not advisable to go with the root credentials. So I have created an IAM user for myself, and I am logging with that IAM user. In later classes, we'll see what is the difference between root credential and IAM user, what is IAM user, what are the roles we can use with that user, and what are the policies available for each user. Those things we'll see in future classes. So I have just logged in. So for time being, you can even use your root credentials. There is no problem with it. And my account, it will give you my account details, and billing and cost management, it will give you the last month bill and how much resources you have utilized for the last month. Security credentials, you can change your password. Switch role, this is just switch the role between one account, one user to another user, from one account to another AWS account. You can do those things. We'll see this feature in IAM class. These are the available regions. Like I told you, right, we have 13 regions. These are the available regions. US is North Virginia, North California, Oregon, Ireland, Frankfurt, Tokyo, Seoul, Singapore, Sydney, Mumbai, and South America. And we have another 2 regions upcoming next 3 months. Support. If you have any concerns with AWS resources, how to access the services, and a problem with accessing the services, you can always raise a ticket with support center. Now we'll go to EC2. For time being, I'm changing into Ireland region. Here I don't have authorization to do this, so better I'll go with Virginia region. So this is the EC2 dashboard, and in the dashboard you could see how many resources I'm running and how many dedicated hosts, how many volumes, how many keepers, elastic IP, snapshot, load balancers, security group. We'll see one by one. What is the significance of region, right? So each region has significance in terms of price, right? And if your business impact will be more on Virginia and Ireland, you can have your resources near to the region, so that the latency will be less and the performance will be so good. And it will be more decided of the price base. Like each region has different pricing models, and there is a good thing in AWS called pricing calculator, S3 pricing calculator. You can go with this pricing calculator, and you can check the price for each region for each instance. If you take a Linux instance for example, and you can check the price for Linux instance as a type of T2 micro Linux instance. You can check the price for same machine in each region. It will be vary. As of my knowledge, if I'm right, here if you see, Tokyo will be the higher cost, Singapore will be less, and third way it go to California, and further it will be reduced in other regions. This pricing model is purely based on AWS. I have no clue how they are fixing the pricing models. And but before you launch in any instance, you can check the pricing with S3 pricing calculator. I can give you the link if you want. So this is the link: https calculator.s3.amazonaws.com. So here, all you have to do, you have to choose your region and choose your machine, and you can have a price here, right? So we'll see one by one from the dashboard. So first the instances. As you see, we have spot instances, reserved instances, scheduled instances, and dedicated host. Spot, we have seen, it is just like bidding, right? Reserved, it is for a year or a 3 years of term. Scheduled instances, it will be scheduled on particular time. It will be start on particular time and it will stop on particular time. It is for some scheduled applications. And dedicated host, as I said earlier, it is dedicated only for you. They will give you a dedicated rack for you, allocated for you, and you can have your users on that, and it won't be shared with anyone. And images, we have AMIs and bundle tasks. Amazon missing image. AMI is nothing but in order to launch an instance, you should have some AMI. So which is nothing but an image snapshot. Normally what we do in the on-premise data center, based on that, from that we launch the machines, right? It is a base OS, nothing but an OS. So under that we have elastic block storage, and that we have volumes and snapshots. Volumes are the one normally when you launch an instance, by default the storage will be back from S3. S3 is nothing but simple storage service. By default it will be stored from S3, and once a machine is getting launched, it will be asked, there will be a question asked from AWS, like it is a persistent storage, or you need a persistent storage or non-persistent storage. Ananya, difference between instance. Can we keep the questions at the end of the session so that I'll finish the things? Okay, thank you. So yeah, so while you launch an instance, from there will be a question from AWS, like you need a persistent memory or non-persistent memory. If you go for persistent memory, you should go with EBS, like elastic block storage. It will be just nothing but an SSD drive, what we are having in on-premise data centers nowadays. The same thing, SSD. So it will be good performance. It will be a solid drive only allocated to you. And if you go from temporary memory, it will be like once you stop the instances, the data will be lost. So before launching instance, you should decide what kind of instance and what kind of storage you need. We'll see while you launch instance, we'll see how it works. And then under network and security, we have security groups, elastic IPs. Elastic IPs is nothing but a static IP. Well, normally when you launch an instance, you'll get a public IP, public DNS, and private IP. By default, it will be comes from the VPC, I mean virtual private cloud. So what happens if you stop the instance and start the instance, the public IP will get changed. So if you need a static IP, you can go with the elastic IP. And by default, every account have 5 elastic IPs as free. And only thing, this IP should be associated with the instances. You cannot have IP as idle in your account. If it is elastic IP is idle in your account, it is chargeable. If it is associated with any instance, then it is free and you can free to go. Then keepers. Keepers is the one which is used to log into the machine. Once you launch the instance, you need a password, right? In case of Windows, you need the login username will be administrator, but you need a password, right? In order to get the password, you will have to provide this key. So once you give the key, the password will be decrypted and you can get your password. In case of Linux machines, in order to launch into access into the machine by use of SSH, you need a key, right? So for that, while you launch an instance, they will force you to generate a keeper. This keeper is nothing but a public and private key. They will give you the public key they will allow you to download the public key, and you can have the private key within the machine. So once the keeper match, you can go ahead and you can launch the instance. These load balancing, auto scaling, we'll see in later classes. Now it's time to launch an instance. So this is the first thing. It asked me to choose an Amazon machine image, like what kind of OS flavor I want. I need Amazon Linux, Red Hat, SUSE Linux, Ubuntu. There will be plenty of options. I'll show you. Ubuntu, Microsoft 2012 R2, and a quick update. You cannot launch in Microsoft Windows 2000 R2 with SQL in Spot instances. This kind of OS is not available with Spot. but basic server 2012 it is available. So you have so many options, right? So all I need, I'll have to choose an image. For time being, I'm going to choose Amazon Linux AMI. Here I'll have to choose the instance type. Like I said, we have a general purpose, compute optimized, which starts from C. In case of memory optimized, it starts from R. GPU compute. It will be majorly for it is mostly for the application which needs more graphics, right? More graphics and high network, you can go for the GPU based machine. And storage optimized, we can see here. So these types will be divided according to which CPU, memory, instance storage, and network performance. You can see the network performance here. So based on your mission rates, you can choose your mission. You can see here the T2 micro is free terabyte eligible, which means I said right 750 hours. So it is comes under that 750 hours. You can spin this machine, it is totally free. So I have chosen that image and I'm going to say configure instance details. Here I'm going to say how many instances I want. I need only one instance, and here the purchasing options. If I need a spot instance, I should enable this. Since I'm going with on demand, I am leaving this part. And here I will have to choose my own VPC. Since every new account will have a default VPC, so no need to worry about this thing. You can have a by default. Once you have only one VPC, these options will be automatically selected, right? So I am choosing my own subnet and my own private subnet. I needed public IP to access machine. And shutdown behavior. Shutdown behavior, if you stop the machine, if you stop the machine, what you should do? You should stop the machine or you should terminate the instance. You should stop the instance and enable termination protection, which means if something happens and if someone accidentally going to terminate instance, if you enable this option, it will be say you cannot terminate this instance. Right? Once you disable the option, then only you can able to terminate the instance. It is always good to enable this option. Then monitoring. Enable CloudWatch detail monitoring. By default, CloudWatch will give you 5 minutes of all the matrices at free of cost. I'll show you this thing. If you enable detail monitoring, you'll get a 1 minute and 3 minute pulses rating, and that is chargeable. And tenancy. Are you going to share resources? Or are you going to need a dedicated machine? I say I'm going to share. Next thing will be network interfaces. And how many network interfaces you need? I mean, NIC. One or two or more. Always you can have an option to assign a static IP, I mean a public IP to the particular NIC. It's still doable. And then advanced detail, what we have is user data. So user data is it's thing, which will be bootstrapped into the machine when the machine is getting launched. Let's say you need a file or you need a script to be started before while launching the machine. You can give input in here. Once it accepts user data, it will take the user data, it will execute the user data while launching the instance, and that will be available with a C, right? Next thing I'm going to add my storage. Since it's a Linux machine, 8 GB is more than enough for me. Here in the volume type, I have general purpose, provision IOPS, and magnetic type. In case of provision IOPS, IOPS is nothing but the input output again. So in case of provision IOPS, my read write speed will be more, and the pricing will be different compared to the general purpose SSD, and magnetic will be slow. So for normal cases, you can better go with SSD. And you can see here I said it's delete and termination, which means when it terminate an instance, and the volume which is attached to that particular instance will also get terminated. If you untick this, it will be available in the volumes, but and it will incur the cost charges. So always safe side, you have to enable this. And here it is encrypted or not encrypted. The volumes, whenever comes with that instance, by default will be non-encrypted. but then you can encrypt the volume further later and you can attach to the next machine. While you, let's say you have some application which is running inside the root volume and you're going to move the same volume into the next machine, you can encrypt and attach into the next machine, and then you can automatically get the volume. This encryption decryption will be taken care by AWS. Next thing will be what instance type you choose when you get option to choose. Umesh, just a second, I'll unmute you. Yeah, Umesh, what's the question?
Harry, like I have already account with AWS and I'm trying to do along with you whatever you're trying to do on my account, right?
Okay.
So I opened my account and I tried to choose instance. So I am on choose AMI.
Okay.
So which one you suggested to choose?
See, which OS will be convenient to you? I mean, Linux or Windows?
Windows is better because I don't have much command line to
Okay.
practice. So
better, I'll also go with Windows then.
that would be helpful, please.
Okay. So I'm going to change to Windows 2012 R2 base here. So it says you're choosing different lines. I said, yeah, I want to continue with the SAMI. And other cases, you'll have to choose the instance type. So what kind of instance type? Since it's a Windows machine, I suggest to go with T2 small. If you go with T2 micro, still it is will work, but it will be a little slow. So rather,
Okay.
you can go with T2 small.
So yeah, T2 micro free tier eligible, right?
Yeah, only that will be a criteria eligible. Like 150 hours, you can utilize only on T2 micro.
Okay.
Then next will be configure. This thing will be since you have only one VPC, a default VPC, you no need to worry about these things. And
Okay.
you have enabled this outsource in public IP. If you disable this, you won't be able to log in into the machine.
So when I went for what it is called free tier, right?
Yeah.
It asked me to create a new key pair.
I'll tell you.
Select.
I'll tell you because I'll have to. Haven't come to this class. I'll tell you how to create a new keeper.
Oh, okay.
Right. So now I'm going to say add storage. Since your Linux machine, I'm Windows machine, I need at least 50 GB. Then tag instance. Here, this tag is very mandatory. The reason because based on the tag only you can find out what instance is running for how many hours. Like if the machine is don't have any tags, the billing will be say EC2 for EC2 service. It is charged for $3,000. You have no clue for what instance they are billing for $3,000 and for how many hours. So in order to avoid those things, better you just tag your instances. And it is a Windows machine, Windows training, and put tag so much. I mean, more information is always necessary, right? In order to get a consult, in order to get a clear billing, you can have more tags. Okay, then configure security group. So here by default 3318 will be then because that is a port when you RDP into the machine you need 3318 should be open. Here you can see IP is RDP and protocol is TCP and port number 3318 and source custom means only to my IP. You should choose sorry, my IP. It will automatically choose my IP and only to with this IP only I can access the machine. Say custom, I can give here my custom IP or a security group. Let's say if you have a already security group, we have an already created security group and that has some ports already open, and I want the same security group to be used for this mission also, I can do. So better I can go with my IP. So this is bit secure, and Next thing I can say, if you want to enable whether the machine is reachable or not, you can enable this thing, all ICMP. It's just nothing but a ping protocol. If you want to ping your machine, you have to enable this thing, or you can remove this. I don't need this. So next thing will be review and launch. It's the final step. It is saying my AMI is a Microsoft Windows Server 2012 R2 base, and my instance type is T2 small. I have enabled only RDP, that is to my own IP, and I have created a 50 GB of storage. Yes. Okay. Now it's good to go. When I say launch, it will ask you to generate a keeper. If you don't have any keeper, it will ask you to generate a keeper. So which consists of a public and private keeper. So what it actually will do in order to give you a secured mission, it will ask you to create as a keeper. Once you generate a keeper, I'm going with a new keeper for time being. Create a new keeper. So I just say training. What actually do, it will give you the key pair of public and private key, and you can share those the key with everyone. I mean, whoever want to access those machine, and the private key will be saved inside that machine. Once this key pair gets smashed, the machine will get allow you to use the access. Like, I'm going to download this key pair. It's already exists. Training on, and by default the key format will be .pem. So in order to login into the Linux machine, guys, do we have any Linux people here? Am I not audible? Mesh, am I audible?
Yes, you're audible to me. Clear, crystal clear.
Okay. Okay. Great. So, for the Linux machine, normally, in order to log into the machine, we need a key. For it will be in .pem format. But if you are going to use the Windows machine, in order to log into the Linux machine, what you will have to do, there is a software called Puttigen, right? In that, you will have to load that PEM key and say all this. Umed, do you have that putty generator already?
I have Mac, so I have terminal. That's what I was trying to type.
Okay, terminal.
So
Okay,
it
no
work
problem.
on terminal too, right?
Yeah, you can
So
do it.
Kamal, so how did you insert it, this in on import key?
Sorry, I don't get you.
How do you insert this key? So I have already downloaded the key, right?
Okay. In case of terminal, all you have to do is SSH-i. I mean, since it's an Windows machine, and you can view with just a second. I'll convert this key and I'll show you how to do that.
Oh, okay.
Private key, yes. Launch instance. So here my instance is getting launched. Normally it will take 4 to 5 minutes. Since the Windows machine will take 4 to 5 minutes to get launched. And not to get the Windows password, I mean password to get login into the machine, you'll have to import the key here somewhere around here. It will by disable, since it is disabled now, you'll have to wait for 2 to 3 minutes. Before that, till now any question, guys?
Okay. So I downloaded the launch instance.
Okay.
And the instance are now launching.
It will take some time.
So along with it, I got another notification, create notification of estimated charges, create billing alerts.
So that is nothing but an whenever you just launch a machine, right? It will ask you to create a billing alert, like how many hours for the not to create billing alert. You'll have to go with CloudWatch. I'll tell you how to do that. And before that, I'll tell you what are the default CloudWatches are available. Let's say I have a machine which is running already. What actually the PM does? It is nothing but a keeper. So AWS asks you to log into the machine in a secured way. Not to do that, they are asking you to create a key pair. With that key pair is nothing but consists of both public key and private key. So this public key will be with you, and they will have a backup of private key inside the machine. So once you log into the machine, they'll ask you to import that public key. Once this key pair matches, they will give you the password for that particular machine. Even though you have the IP, you need a password, right? In order to get the password, they will keep in that way.
And there was another feature too. I remember it was Google Authenticate or something, right? To authenticate yourself.
That is something just kind of OTP, and you can use that too. But in the first, when you launch an instance, you'll have to use this key pair. Once you get into the access to the machine, you can use any third-party authentication methods.
Oh, okay.
So these
I can see my instance.
okay.
Actually, it is running.
That can you see my screen now? CloudWatch alarms.
Yeah, CloudWatch alarm.
The same details. No, you can create an alarm using create alarm button above, right? Here I can get my CPU utilization, disk read rate operations, network, and CPU credit usage. Did you see here CPU credit usage? This is nothing but how many hours I have used this machine from how long. And by default, sorry, it will be updating every 5 minutes, which is absolutely free. If you want detailed information like for every minute or every 3 minutes, it is chargeable, right? So based on this monitoring thing, you can create a billing alarm.
So how did you reach to this point through your window to
Uh,
check?
just a second.
Check this. Check.
Just click your instance, you will see description, status checks, and monitoring. Under monitoring, you have all those details.
Okay, monitoring.
Yes.
No alarm configured as of now.
Yeah, you will have to, but matrices will be available by this time.
Yes, matrix is available.
Yeah, just click create alarm, and based on the matrices, you can create alarm.
Oh, okay.
I will see this CloudWatch matrix and alarms in the next classes.
Okay.
Probably, yeah. So it's basically for the security groups. Amir, Umesh, I'm going to mute you.
Sure.
Amir, just a second, I'm going to unmute you. You can have a question. Yes, Amir. What's the question, sorry?
Yeah, I just asked you about PEM files, right?
Yeah.
So you mentioned it. I mean, so is it basically more related to the security groups, right?
No.
So
No, it is not security group.
okay.
See,
Okay.
AWS provides secure to a machine in 3 ways. First thing is access key. So how you're going to log into the machine? That is be achievable via this key. The key pair,
Okay.
public key and private key.
Okay.
Next thing will be the
Okay.
security group. That is nothing but an VPC, virtual private cloud. And by default, every account will have one default VPC. And also you have options of creating 5 VPCs as free in your account, right? Each
Okay.
VPC will have a pool of IPs, And based on the IP ranges, you can choose your IP for a particular instance. And that is the second way. Third way, how you're going to log in into the machine with port numbers. Send IP. Like in the security group, I have mentioned my own IP, right? Custom IP. So based on that, you
Okay.
can go to the IP and you can create a security group with that particular port numbers. So that's the third way. And fourth way will be that IAM users. So who for whom this should be visible and whom you should not be visible. Like those things you can control.
Okay. Okay.
Right? Hariharan and Venkatachalam, can you please send me this go to training meeting recording at the end of session? Really sorry.
Yeah, sure, sure.
Really sorry.
Sure, no problem. I will. I
Yeah.
think we should discuss. We should set this discussion or any type of questions at the end of. I will note down and then ask the questions at the end of.
That will be good. Yeah. And to answer Hariharan, and as of now, I don't have access to share the meeting recording. I can share the PPT, but I cannot share the recording. I believe so. I'll have a word with my team, and if it is feasible, definitely I'll do that. Thank you. So by this time, my machine will get definitely launched. Yes, it is running now. So I'm going to connect to the machine. In order to connect to the machine, I need a password, right? It says get password. I know my password is, username is administrator, but I need a password. In order to get the password, it asked me to provide the key pair. training1.pem. I kept in desktop. So here I have. So once I say decrypt password, yeah, here we go. I have the password now. So all I need to know is go to administrator. I can use the public DNS or no, this PPT doesn't have any service to create an instance. What I will do, I can, I'll have to create such PPT in that way if you want. Is it so complicated to do this, Matthew? Matthew, just a second, I'll unmute you. Yeah, Matthew, please go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, but your voice is a bit low. Can you speak a bit louder?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, my question was like, so the PPT that includes all these steps, like creating the new instance, or?
No, it has only only very limited information. Like for each service, it has only some limited information. And what are the key features available with that service? What are the limitations in that service? Those details only available with that PPT. But if you want, I can add those details into the PPT, but it will take some time. Is that okay?
Yeah, I think that's fine. We just know. Yeah, yeah.
I'll, I'll
Yeah.
do
I think that will be. Yeah.
I'll do one thing. Next time I'll just launch an instance with the screenshots and I'll put the screenshots into the PPT and I'll send those things to you.
Yeah, I think that will be great. Yeah.
Yesterday, probably every one of you get a mail from Prince Praveen, right? Regarding the subject and regarding today's topic and
I don't think so. I didn't get any.
okay. Because under my training, it's very hard for me to find I don't know how to get a message, send a message in this GoTo training. So I'll get a mail ID of each one and I'll send a link there.
Oh, okay, okay, that's great. Okay,
Okay.
okay, thanks, sir.
Okay. So now our instance gets launched and I'm inside the machine now. Yes, there it is. So that's how you'll have to launch the machine. And once you launch the machine, once you right click it, first thing will be connect and next thing will be get Windows password and launch more like this. What it actually means, if you click this, then you will get another machine same configuration, same instance type, same VPC and the same OS. Right? In the instance type, I have option of stop, reboot and terminate. Stop the machine, since it has only EBS, my data will not get affected. If it is an ephemeral storage, I mean the non-persistent memory, my data will be lost. And the instance settings, I can always add or edit my tag and attach the auto scaling group. So this is for the auto scaling, and now we are not going to see this. In termination protection, it is enabled now, so no one can terminate an instance unless otherwise if you disable it purposely. So what activities you are doing in the AWS account, it will be tracked in track via API. It is possible to track via API. In order to do that, you will have to enable a service called CloudTrail. In CloudTrail, when any user, irrelevant of IAM user, if any user log into that account from anywhere, those things will be get tracked and logged into that CloudTrail. So you can know if someone purposely deleted your instance, you will know who that's done that, right? And instance settings, I have view and user data. So since I haven't given any user data, it is blank. Or else you can give your user data here like host name. If you need something, some host name should be attached with the machine, you can do that. Get system log. Can you please send it? So this is system log. So here you can get the details of instance ID, drivers. Next thing will be get instance screenshot. So when you create an image from this machine, you will get a snapshot actually. Once you enable this, by default you will get a snapshot, and once when the snapshot process is completed, it will be comes to your AMI. Under the AMI, it will be available in private images. So on that you can from that, if you made some changes into the OS, like if you put some other application into the OS, and if you need a copy of that, you can always take a snapshot and can keep it inside the AMI. So next time onwards, you can launch a machine from that particular AMI. And networking, I can change security group. I can add another NIC port, change source destination check, and this you don't need this right now because it will be used in NAT. I mean network address translation in a NAT gateway. We will see this in how this will be working that OLBC VPC. And manage private IP address. You can always have option to change your private IP address. And another thing, you can have n number of private IP address to the one per machine. There is no restriction for it. Can you please send the PPT to me as well? Yeah, I'm going to see. Once I create a PPT, I'll send to everyone. There is, I'll create a group and I'll send to everyone. Don't reset. So CloudWatch monitoring. As of now, I haven't enabled detail monitoring. If I enable detail monitoring, as I said, it will be chargeable and it will give you the details from each minute. And add or edit alarms. So far, I haven't have any alarms, so this won't be work for me. So these are the options available with instance launching and instance, all the instance. So now we can go for the question session. And I'm going to unmute everyone. You can shoot out the questions now.
Hi, Hari, Pradeep here.
Hi, Pradeep.
Yeah, for some reason I've been typing a lot of questions, but I don't know, it was not going to you, it was going to somebody else. So right from the time when you were trying to create that instance,
Yes.
you came across with some port. So in the port range,
Mhm.
are you selecting, I mean, what you selected was a default port, is it?
Yes, correct.
Or,
381 is a default port for login.
okay. And then once you selected default port, then it prompted you to generate some key.
Yes.
Right. So now that key, you showed that key related to a Windows, Windows environment.
Yes.
So when it comes to Linux, you said something, some sort of.
Yes. Okay, I'll explain it again. So
Yes.
we have when you create a key by default, you will have an option to download in .pem format. I'll I'm going to have the noises and Pradeep, right? Pradeep. Okay. So we have two options. One is .pem, and once you download, you will get in .pem format. So in order to access that machine into the, normally Windows we don't have any terminal kind of thing. So in order to log in into the Linux machine from Windows, you need a software called Putty. So if you want to use with Putty, you need a format in PPK. For that only I have converted PEM into PPK, and I have used that key to decrypt password. So in case of Linux machines, I'll have to do the same thing in order to access to the Linux machines. But since you have a Linux machine already, you must have terminal, right? So just say SSH-I, and you will have to give the path of that particular key and just say the username. Here, in case of Linux, you have two options like EC2 user, and if it is an Ubuntu machine, the username will be by default Ubuntu. So let's say in my case, so in order to log in into the Linux machine, if it's a Linux machine, SSH-I and provided by the key path, the username will be Ubuntu at the rate of the IP or the DNS. That's how you log in into the machine. Yeah, Pradeep?
Okay. Okay. So so you have keyed in that that the long key that you got on that section where then you clicked on. Now I just wanted to once again check and see that particular screen. Is it possible to go there back or?
You want to show me how to create the key again?
Yeah, just I want to check that. I had
Okay.
some question, but I don't know. I tried to ping you, but it went to somebody else.
Okay, okay. Just a second. Please ping your name so that I can unmute you after this question. Okay. So for that, I have to go to keepers, right? So here I have keepers. So see here, I have already few set of keepers which is already created by someone else, not by me. So if you want to create another keeper, just say click create keeper. You will have to give the name, and this key will be the encryption will be automatically taken care by AWS. You don't need to know what kind of encryption they are following, what kind of algorithm they are following. No need to bother about it.
Mhm.
All you have to give is the keeper name. That's it. So once you create a keeper, you will have to import that keeper. Download the keeper. So once you get a keeper, you can easily go. If you want to show me how to log into the Linux machine.
Yeah. Now just you just imported. You just generated the key pair,
Yes,
and you imported the key pair, right?
correct.
So you got it on your local.
Yes.
Okay. So now from the local, what you did?
From the local, since I don't have a terminal, I'll have to use the putty session, right?
Okay. No
Before
problem.
that, I just start my Linux machine. I must have a Linux machine. Or else I have another machine. I hope I have the key. Okay, yes. So what I can do, here I have got my public IP, right? and the key name it says Harishankar. That is my key, and I'm going to log into that key. So I'm going to provide the host name, and since it is a putty session, I will have to give a key in this way.
Okay.
So once I give this key, okay, I think I'll have to change the security group permission. Just a second. Inbound SSH to anywhere. Okay, now I can able to log into that machine.
So here, basically what you did, the inbound you changed it to
Anywhere.
SSH or?
Yeah. In the SSH group, I just changed the port range would be 22 by default, and I changed the source to anywhere. I mean to anywhere I can able to log into the machine. Instead of giving my IP or custom IP, I said anywhere. So once the key is authorized, it will ask you to share the username, login as. So here I'm going to say, if it is an Ubuntu machine, no, it is not Ubuntu machine. Okay, I say duplicate section. EC2 user. Okay, so this way we'll have to log into the machine.
Okay.
That's it. So
So you're using the sudo account here, sudo.
yeah, in order to get a root privilege, I am just using my sudo account. But since we have the key, you will be the root user. Even though it will just log into the local EC2 user, you can always sudo to get into the root.
Okay. So now, yeah. So now this is how you got into the
Linux machine.
okay Linux. Okay. So it will be similar way for
Yeah.
Unix as well, right?
Yes, in Linux, all you have to do is just say SSH-I, and here you will have to provide the key path. Like in home, just I'm giving you some random example, right? Just give the key path and followed by the username and the IP, the public IP. That's it. This is how you have to log in into the Linux machine.
Okay. So this is after logging in, you have to you have to do an SSH to this particular IP.
Sorry?
Now, after logging in the machine, you are actually going into that IP, that particular machine, using that user, right?
Yes.
EC2 user, you're going to that machine.
Yeah.
Okay. Now here, aren't you giving any environment variables or declaring anything like that?
Yeah, you can do that. You can do that in user data.
So is that needed? Now, suppose you wanted to source something, is it needed to declare something here?
The
environment.
Let's say you have some already you have some shell script which will call something from the world, like from the storage or somewhere else. For that, you shell script to be run execute well, you have some environment variables, you can do that, or else it is not necessary. Normally
Not necessary.
that will be usable when in case of auto scaling. In auto scaling, normally machines will have the usernames and passwords, right? So in auto scaling, you'll have it will take the machine from the AMI. This AMI, if you take the AMI from the fresh AMI, it doesn't have the user details and password details. So in order to avoid those consequences, so better you can have a user data, and once the user data is fetched into that machine, from that machine you can create an AMI. With that AMI you can do auto scalings, so that whatever things will be in the from first, number one machine, the same details will be available in the upcoming machines, which is initiated from the auto scaling.
Okay.
Okay, I will see how to provide user data details in auto scaling groups and others.
Now here 1 minute before you exit. No, okay. I was just want to check if you put the current present working directory, it will not will it take you to the home, or
Yeah,
or if you do a CD or something like that.
Yeah, it's home, easy to use, my home directory.
Okay.
If say sudo -i, it will go to my root directory.
Okay.
My root directory. Here I have full access.
Okay.
Okay. So shall I go with the next question?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Mr. Hariharan.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, please. Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, I had a question. Okay, so which I also put in the chat. Did you already talk about the VPCs and the security group?
No, not yet.
No, you touched on it briefly before, but can you please elaborate on that a little bit more?
Yes. So VPC is nothing but a virtual private cloud, and it has so many options like virtual private cloud. If you go it in not in a detailed manner, if you go in a simple manner, there is basically four options in VPC. VPC with private subnet, VPC with public and private subnet, VPC and private and public with the hardware VPN, and VPC with private subnet only with the hardware direct VPN access. So normally what it does, if you want to launch an instance, you should have some network path, right? So computing part they will be take care, but as networking, how you're going to access the machine, you need a network IP and all things. So that will be taken care by the VPC. VPC is nothing but a pool of IPs, and based on it is here AWS doesn't follow any IP ranges. It is a CADR range. So here you will have to choose IP, and let's say if I am going to choose 10.0.0.0, based on that my subnets will be have the IPs. My subnet class is 10.0.0/16. I'll have 65,000 of IPs, and you can get those details from the subnet IP calculators. But once you get a VPC range, based on the VPC range, you will have a pool of IPs. On from now onwards, like whenever you launch an instance on that particular VPC, you will get an IP range on that IP. That IP pool from the pool. So it will be very useful in a development scenario. Like I can allow only my IP range from 10.0.0.1 to 10.0.0.100. So within 100 range of IPs only, I can restrict my machine into that particular set of IPs.
Makes sense. Does VPC have anything to do with the affinity zone?
Sorry, which are you saying about the availability zone?
Sorry, availability zone. Thank you. Yeah.
No, it has nothing to do with the AZ. So each AZ, if let's say I'm going to launch a machine in North Virginia in AZ1, and still this machine will be available in that particular zone, but if you want high availability, like you need a machine to be available in another AZs too, you can have a copy of AZ2 and 3, but then the IPs will be applicable to each machine. I mean, you can for each AZ there is no need to put another VPC. One VPC will be available span all the AZs.
Okay, thank you. And about the security group, please.
Yeah. So for the security group, you can have options of port accessing, port restriction. See, I'm in the security group now, so I can show you here. So here I can say custom TCP rule or custom UDP rule or custom ICMP. ICMP is nothing but a pinging protocol, and if I say all traffic, all ports will be available. I mean, from the 0 to 65,000 ports, all ports will be available to all everywhere. So don't ever do this. And here, in order to reduce the complexity, they will give you all the default protocols like SSH, DNS, HTTP, POP3, IMAP, LDAP, HTTPS. So based on like if you're going to create a web server, right? So you will have to choose HTTP. So by default port 80 will be open, and here under the source you have three options. One is custom, I mean for the particular IP, and anywhere means it will be 00 from all over the world, and my IP is for the particular IP. So this is one thing you can do with the security group, and the other way you can further restrict the NAT rules. There is a concept called Internet Gateway and Internet Gateway NAT rules, NAT Gateway and NAT rules. So we'll see in detail about, well, we see about the VPC. VPC, it's a huge topic, and I'm afraid we need at least 2 hours to complete it.
Okay, so but VPC is something that you are going to cover in a future session in detail.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Okay. So, any other question? In chat. Right, I'll take it as no then. Umesh, yes, persistent versus non-persistent memory. And okay, persistent is non-persistent. It's a like consider RAM and ROM, right? Just a second, Umesh, I'll unmute you then. I see so many hands raised, but I'll see one by one. Umesh, are you there? I mean, or I can go ahead with Pradeep then. Yes, I can read you, but I couldn't able to get your name here. Just give me a second, Umesh. I'm looking for your name. Here I got. Okay. Yeah, sorry, Umesh. Please go ahead. Umesh, Umesh, you can speak now.
Yeah,
Umesh?
can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can.
So persistent versus non-persistent memory, and what effects does it make
Okay.
in terms of costing and performance?
So consider if a persistent memory is just like a RAM, right? So whatever things you have it inside, it will be gone when you reset the machine. Am I right? So non-persistent
Yeah.
memory, if you just consider as a ROM, whatever things, even though if you reset the memory, reset the machine, it will be available. So in case of performance, if you take a persistent, it will be a little slow. It is just like because the persistent memory, practically AWS using S3 as a persistent memory. Only if you choose non-persistent memory, then you can go with EBS, I mean elastic block storage. In elastic block storage, you have option to choose, I mean the raw hard disk volumes like magnetic drives and SSD drives. And also they give you provision IOPS. I mean input output, like if you need a high read speed memory volume you require, you can go with provision IOPS. Whereas if you go for the S3 based memory, it will be very slow, but still it will be, I mean if you consider about the price, you can go with the persistent memory, I mean S3 based storage.
Okay. Okay. So on that other topic of pairing the key with my terminal, you're gonna send me some instructions on that, or how it's gonna work? So let's say I am in my root right now. I loaded it through that sudo -i.
Okay.
I'm in my root. How to insert that memory? I don't see any option like the way
Okay.
you had it in.
Just say df-h, df space -h.
Okay. df space -f.
No, not df, h. I mean human.
Oh, okay.
So you will get a information from the human readable format.
Okay. I used mounted on blah 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 blah.
Okay. Does it have any /dev /something xvdag something?
I have /home/net/dev. Yes, /dev is there.
Okay.
/net is there.
How much space is available there?
100%.
Okay. I mean the.
Or
How many?
/dev/desk1 is 72%.
Okay. So which means you already have an non-persistent memory right now. If you go for the temporary memory, you'll have to choose from the marketplace. While we launch an instance, you'll have an option to create a volume, right? Attach a volume, root volume, or like it will ask you. It's a provision I have magnetic or SSD volume, right? On that time, you will have to move it into the non-persistent memory. Persistent memory, S3 based memory. If you take from the S3 memory, the root access will be very slow. But if you consider about the price, you will have to go for it. I won't suggest it.
Okay. So, like in the very first, class, I asked that if you can give all these small commands which are to check and all that thing, because as I mentioned that I don't work much on Linux or so.
That will be good because it will be available with that. But it is not. Recorded with that recorder. So I don't know how to cache those informations. I thought it will be available somewhere in the log files in the training account. In the training where I'm running this training tool, but it is not captured in the logs. And I'll try to find out where it can cache those informations.
Okay, but in general, like if you can send.
What I can do, I can share you the common informations like in launching instances. Let's say if you have facing those kind of common commands and things, I can share those things within separate text file rather than taking from the chat history.
Or you can send it to our email addresses.
Yeah, that's what. But some of your colleagues, some of your people's mail IDs are missing over there. Yesterday, Prince said some topic. EC2, but I don't know how many of you get those mails.
So I got it, and some few more I noticed they mentioned that they got 2.
Because here I see attendees is 30. Well, we thought it is 37. Now it's 30. But in the mail IDs, I could see only 25. So some of those mail IDs are missing there. I'll find out who are missing so I can add your mail IDs too, and when next time in this send a PPT, I'll add your IDs.
Okay, I was facing one more problem while getting connected to this. So
Okay.
what happened is I get a notification from GoToMeeting that my training is gonna start, the session is gonna start in 1 hour or so. But when I try to click through that link, what I get, I'm not able to connect. Then I went through another link I got through HEMA, and I tried to re-register myself, and that's how I was able to attend, join the meeting.
I'm not sure because the GoToTraining is in I'll have to check with the license one, because probably if it is in free version, you will face those kind of issues. But for me, it will be perfectly working. So
Okay.
I'm not sure because okay, I'll check it again once.
Yeah, and for email address, I'm not sure whether you have access to everybody's email address. Looks like
Yes.
everyone is typing. So
What
let
now?
me
As of
type.
now, I'm just copying those into my text file here.
Okay.
I'm just putting in the notepad. Thank you. So any other question, guys, before the session ends?
Okay. And if you can send some information on creating that virtual credit card, or is it easily to find online?
Yeah, there are so many tools available. Even you can do it from Freecharge, from Yes Bank. There are so many tools available. The reason virtual credit card, it is bit safer. If you're going a credit card dealers, they will be auto debit. So in case of virtual credit card, how much money you have it in the account, then only they can debit. So that's a bit safer, and also you'll be aware how much money is going from AWS.
No, It happened to me actually, though it was not a big amount, but every month I was getting charged. I started training somewhere else, right? And then I tried to do the same thing what I'm trying to do now,
Okay.
and I started to get confused. Then I had to let go in between because I couldn't go for any further. But
Okay.
what happened is, because I have credit card set on my account set on my credit card, there were some instances running in the background. I guess I took
Always,
RT2.
it's a best practice to stop an instance like see in the CloudWatch alarms you could have see CPU credit hours and CPU hours, right? So based on the if CPU is running more than 100 hours or 50 hours, you can create an initiate and command to stop the instance. It will be achievable in
Okay.
CloudWatch. So there in that way you can save a lot of amount from billing.
Okay. So now on this instance topic, let's say when we decide to terminate the instance when we are done doing something, right? So terminating the instance, then whatever we have on that instance will get deleted. In instance, are we having our content too, or how does it work?
Sorry, I didn't get you.
So in instance, is it the instance? I need to understand get the better understanding of instance. We are creating server within the instance, right?
No, you're confusing the server and instance. Instance is a term used by AWS. Actually, you are creating a virtual server here.
So let's say we are creating virtual server.
Okay.
Now within that virtual server, we will be creating our what it is called from images.
Yeah. Yes. Images.
Buckets and all, right?
Yes.
So we will be creating buckets and all within that virtual server, right?
Bucket.
So within
buckets you can create in the S3.
Okay. So in this, when we creating server,
actually a machine server, just consider a data center. If you enable data center with a VM, if you install a virtual machine manager on the hypervisors, you will get plenty of VMs, right? Consider the same thing AWS giving you isolated way with the username and password. It is not just a machine with all the CPU, RAM, and hard disk. So nothing else.
oh, okay, okay. Now it makes me better.
Okay. Thank you, man. So any other questions?
Is there a way we can send you an email to communicate with you? We get some question or we get some doubt in between.
I'm going to see. This is my mail ID, harishankar.n@8kmiles.com. So you can shoot out your questions here. So I'll try to answer there itself, or we'll see it in the upcoming classes. I'm not sure how long I'm going to take the class session for you, because this class supposed to take by another guy, one of my colleague called Prince. But since he's in some personal emergency, I am taking this class. And
okay.
Meanwhile, I'll also be with him. So we'll have a time. Don't worry.
So at least, if you can send meanwhile the classes what you've taken, some documentation on those, some information on those, that would be helpful.
Because
right.
I could see this is very probably you people will meet only 8 times, right? This meeting will be for only 8 session. Am I right?
Yes.
So it is very hard to complete all these services. In just 8 hours. In 8 hours. So basically, what we have planned is to give you some brief introduction about AWS and about the services. The core services like EC2, S3, because storage, compute, networking, VPC. Once you have some clear-cut idea on those things, you will see all those other services. So what I suggest on my team is like we'll have to go with EC2, S3, VPC, and other storage things and databases and yeah, obviously databases. Once we clear with those services, other services are just add-on service do these basic services. So you can have hands on it, so you'll get some idea on those things.
Okay. So let's say we discussed last time that we need some specialization on specific topics, right?
Yes.
As per the languages we work on. Otherwise, this just excuse me.
Sorry.
Just getting the concept of Amazon Web Services is not enough, right?
Correct.
We all can do readings on it, but if we don't have any practical help, we're getting, let's say, I gave you example just now, right? I was trying to do this thing before, but whenever I used to do my practical, there are so many options, right? And when
so
you're
you
taking,
are a developer, right?
Was that? I'm sorry.
You work in a PHP domain.
Yes.
So what is the major concern? I mean, can you just give me one quick example?
Just to make sure that I'm able to make connection with the EC2 server from my, right now I have, let's say, VPS, right, hosted somewhere else.
Okay.
So I want to make sure that I'm able to create a bucket over there. I want to move all my images to that to AWS to start with, right?
Okay.
Then slowly I want to migrate my whole server, including content and rest all files to AWS.
Okay.
So I need specialized knowledge in that domain where if I'm trying to do something, I'm trying to move my VPS server to AWS, right? How I'm gonna do this migration, and that is what I want to learn specifically.
Okay. AWS offers you to access those services in 3 ways. First thing we have seen, management console, and next way you can do with API or CLI, and with applications like how you said, I not to access from, let's say, and my one of my PHP script is going to access just like Jenkins or any continuous integration server. One of my application is going to launch some instance, or one of my application is going to create some storage in web services, I mean the cloud. You can do those things from access key and secret key, which is get from AWS. I mean from the in the user credentials. So in that way, you can use your application to come. I mean, speak with the web services.
Okay. Yeah, let me try to set it up. And let's say, to begin with, if I want to set up on my free account just a WordPress based website, right? I will, let me, that's why I asked for it. Even let me try to do something at least
Okay.
first.
You have my mail ID, right? You can always shoot a mail to me.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. So, any other questions? I'll have to copy those mail IDs to my notepad. So, shall we wind up now?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks a lot for everyone for your time, and have a good weekend.
You too, Hari. Thank you very much for everything.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye.